assist both vehicles, and then the cops come to the boat. There's cops staying put, so he's raking brush and running other cops around. Still right there, he's about 60 yards away. He wasn't quite big enough, but he came in like he was supposed to. We could have shot him, and it went down 35 yards, squared him away. You can still see his antlers and stuff on the eyes, but fun stuff. So that was an interesting bull. He had a cow with him. They got downwind of us, which is what they typically do, circle downwind. And we're standing kind of out in the middle of the open, so it's a tough deal, but they spotted us. They were real nervous until they smelled us, and then they decided to leave. But they didn't bark, they just kind of ran off, so that's good. We were surrounded by bulls. I didn't know where to go. I saw this one and I was trying to suck him over here because he was just right over the top. Well, that's what I'm trying to do too. I'm trying to get not in the wind for your elk.
so I'm just moving, and I don't care about
They
noise.
always do that when they get that close.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Well, that's the end of morning one. We had some pretty good action this morning. Seen a couple different bulls, had a lot of bulls answering. Had some cows come in pretty close, 20 yards or so. So now we'll just go back and relax and get ready for the afternoon hunt, which will be sitting on a water hole. Outdoor Bound TV will be right back after these messages.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Mission by Matthews and Vortex Optics.
For thousands of years, these mountains and plains were untouched by the hand of man. The mountains were the domain of the eagle, the deer, and the bear, while vast herds of buffalo grazed on the lush prairie grass. The wolf, his cousin the coyote, and the cougar preyed upon these herds. The rich pastures of the mountains and plains were coveted by cattlemen and sheep herder alike. Texas cattlemen moved their herds onto the rich grazing country along the Pecos. They found a good market for their beef at the Fort Sumner Reservation.
There was always the possibility of violence because of that deadly mixture of 95 proof whiskey and gunpowder.
Lincoln County grew in these tumultuous years with Texas settlements to the east at Seven Rivers and Roswell, the Hispanic towns of San Patricio in the Ruidoso Valley and Tularosa on the western slope of the Sierra Blanca. But it was to Lincoln, perfectly situated between Fort Stanton and the New Mescalero Reservation, that commerce flowed. The center of this commerce was the two-story Murphy Dolan General Store, known simply as The House. The House prospered by fixing prices on what it bought and sold the locals, by purchasing cut-rate cattle from outlaws and selling that at inflated weights to the Indian Agency, and by offering loans to local farmers and then promptly foreclosing. In the barter economy of the day, the books of the House were the currency of the land. The sheriff and the local court answered to the House. The young Englishman, John Henry Tunstall, arrived in Lincoln in the autumn of 1876. His Harris tweed jacket did not fit comfortably with the style of Lincoln, nor did his desire to set himself as the new overlord of the region. Henry McCarty, also known as Henry Antrim, a.k.a. Kid Antrim, William H. Bonney, also known as the Kid, also known as Billy the Kid, was one of these cowboys. His origins remain shrouded in mystery. Some say he came from the Irish slums of New York City, while others claim Indiana as his place of birth. The boy, tough, smart, and charming, found work around Camp Grant, but in August 1877, shot a man in a saloon brawl and fled back to New Mexico. He soon joined Jesse Evans' gang of rustlers. He now took the alias William H. Bonney, although everyone just called him the Kid. Dick Brewer meets Billy at Seven Rivers and persuades him to leave the Evans gang, who had joined up with Murphy, and hire on with Tunstall. Tunstall's days are numbered, for he underestimates the ruthlessness of his rivals. He thought the law would protect him, but the House owned the law in Lincoln County. Sheriff William Brady now moved to attach Tunstall's cattle herd on trumped-up lawsuit writs engineered by Murphy and Dolan.
He thought he was smarter than his competitors, but he didn't quite understand how things really worked out in New Mexico. Because in territorial New Mexico, the six-gun trumped the law book every time.
On February 18, 1878, several members of Brady's posse, including the deputized outlaws Jesse Evans and Frank Baker, come upon Tunstall on a mountain trail above the Ruidoso. They promptly murder it. The killing of the Englishman begins the Lincoln County War.
The Lincoln County War brought a lot of attention to New Mexico, but it was a notoriety the territory didn't want. There was no way New Mexico was going to achieve statehood when it was overrun with outlaws, overrun with violence. And now, with the Lincoln County War over, of course, there was still Billy the Kid, the outlaw that refused to go away. Billy the Kid was bad for business. Billy the Kid has to go.
Garrett, with 2 deputies, tracks Billy the Kid to Old Fort Sumner. On the moonbright evening of July 14, 1881, Garrett lay in wait for the Kid at Pete Maxwell's house, where Billy had come to see his girlfriend. 2 shots in the darkness of Maxwell's bedroom ends the Kid's life in the Lincoln County War.
Billy the Kid, the rebellious outlaw youth, appeals to people throughout the world. Partially because he is so young, he won't compromise. And in a world of compromise, of course, we always look for someone who fights for justice, who won't back down, who plays his string out. And that's why Americans will always love him. Walking the streets of Lincoln today is almost exactly like walking those streets over a century ago. It's the best preserved town in the entire American West. It's just like it was. When you walk those streets at night especially, when the moon rises over the mountains, when the coyotes wail, when the wind rustles through the cottonwoods, you'll feel that spirit.
It's about 5 o'clock. We just got all set up in our blind. We're going to be hunting a water hole tonight we call Farm Canyon. When we got here, there was elk bugling all around us. They're not real far away, so. That one's pretty close too. He's up the hill, but there's one behind us I think is coming. So this water hole to the middle of it is about 20 yards, and then to the far side of the water hole is 37 yards. So it's not real close shot, but it's doable with a bow and arrow. So they're on their feet and they're making noise, so we'll see what happens. Well, it's always fun to watch him do that wallow and rake trees and chase cows around. I figured he would do that once he got comfortable in the water hole. So we just need a little bit bigger one. There's more coming, I hope.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Mission Crossbows and HHA Sports. Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Acme Tackle and Mountain Dew.
Here we are picking up this old trap that we found right next to our camera, and we're setting up a camera. There's a blind over here. It's our first day of the hunt, and we saw this old trap, and as we're standing here we can see the elk and we can hear them screaming. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Unreal. 85 degrees out.
Outdoor Bound TV is brought to you by Markham Technologies and Rapala.